All right, beautiful Seattle day out here. It was wonderful to practice outside. Obviously, work on getting better, improving in all the areas that we need to get better at. It was a great practice today. Guys were energetic. Guys were into it, even though they had a hard-fought game, and excited to improve and continue to move this thing forward.
How do you harness the success of the drives in the second half and create that on a more regular basis?
Yeah, I think the thing is just cleaning up our ball. We had a lot of things that were happening early in the game. Whether it's the snap situations, we had a few snaps, we had some high throws, we had some communication. So there's all those things. If they're taking place one after another, we need to clean that up. And I think as the game went along, we were able to settle down and kind of get settled in. Obviously came out of the second half, had a really nice drive, put points on the board, and I think that kind of settled us down a little bit. We just we need to get back to our ball. We need to do our thing, and we need to obviously start it earlier.
Their run defense numbers, I guess, are pretty good. And what else do you see out of the Colts? So what's going to present a challenge from them?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's a team that we don't know, and it's somebody we haven't played in a while. So getting familiar with the players. With how you want to attack the specific defenses that they have, obviously the players and how they match up, how we match up against them, the scheme, understanding the scheme as well. So all that, just the newness and the getting familiar with them is something that we have to do quickly.
With all that you have planned for Procise, what he can do, what he's done, how much hampering is it that he's every other week almost hurt?
Well, I was excited that he made it 3. So I mean that was probably the most that we've had him, and but he's such a special talent, and he does a lot of great things for us. So it's definitely a blow to you when you lose a guy like that, and obviously somebody that maybe you can't count on all the time, and we haven't been able to have that. Like I said, we had him for 3 games, so we were excited about it. We don't know if he's going to be in this game or not. See how well he progresses during the week. But if he makes it back, he makes it back. But he brings he gives us a nice package, a nice dynamic player. All the different things he can do. He runs the ball really well, but catching the ball outside is a big deal as well.
How much can J.D. McKissick cover of what he does?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. We've practiced J.D. All through training camp. I mean, you saw the last preseason game. I mean, he ran the ball really well. So, when we were able to hand it to him, he does a nice job in the pass game. Obviously, he doesn't have the physical stature that C.J. has, but for the most part, he has a good understanding of all the stuff that we need him to do.
How was Jimmy Graham able to have the game that he had? I mean, what were the things that enabled that?
Well, we threw the ball a lot, and we kind of got in that game with a little bit of hurry up, in the second half, later in the second half, and we were able to find him and target him on a couple plays. And I think it's key to you have to throw the guy the ball. You have to continue to try to find ways, and then you got to give him opportunities to make plays, and you got to let him use his big frame and that kind of stuff. So all that stuff, I mean, that's on me, it's on Russell, it's on Jimmy, all those pieces to be able to put that together to continue to have him have games like that.
With scripting the first however many plays, what do you hope to accomplish by doing that? What's the thought there?
Well, there's a couple things. Obviously get us into a rhythm. Usually is definitely the first thing. You'd like to you take care of your quarterback. There's certain things that you're trying to see things that you've game planned for if they're playing the way that you thought they were going to play, and be able to make quicker adjustments, those type of things. And usually our first 15s has been pretty good. This one the other night, obviously not converted on third down. Then the second drive, we ended up jumping into a quick no huddle, and again, we didn't convert a third down, so that's another 3-play and out. And then the third drive where we had 6 plays, that was still part of the first 15. We got in a pretty good rhythm there. We missed one, and then didn't convert on a third down. So that kind of put us in that cycle with missing those third downs.
The plan that you have for those 15 plays, how does that change, if it does change at all, based on just the situations that you find yourself in?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. You go back to the San Fran game. I mean, we just ripped right through the first 15, went all the way down the field, and we didn't finish the drive. We didn't catch the ball in the end zone, but we had opportunities to do it. But it can change depending on where you get the ball. If we're backed up, depending on what the first 15 looks like, maybe you don't do that. If you start right in the red zone, maybe you jump into your red zone plan. So there's things that can change that. But as far as just playing normal ball, then we try to get on it.
Why 15? Why not 12 or 20? Why is it 15?
It's a good question, Greg.
I've always wondered why.
That's a good question. I don't know. You know, I think I just it's a good number in terms of like how far it can get you in the game. If you're not doing well, sometimes that's into the second quarter. But you'd like to be around a drive and a half. To be able to see the things that you need to see, the things that we're looking for. When I've done it before, I've scripted a first 15 of the first half and a first 15 of the second half. I haven't done that here yet because really, I think we've done a nice job of coming out of half times with the communication and the stuff that we've done at half, and we've had some nice drives coming out. So I haven't necessarily gone to that yet, but I've done that in the past as well. So, there's all kind of schools of thoughts on that.
Have you gone back in the middle of the game and jumped right into the series script again? Not 15 in a row, but running in a row.
Well, there's been times where maybe the first drive of the game where we really ripped through it, and so there's been times like, yeah, I'm just going to go back through this again and start it over. Maybe change the personnel or something, but go right back through those same thoughts because it was successful for you.
You mentioned coming out of the half, that first drive of the third quarter, was that about as good a drive as you guys have had in terms of all the different things?
Yeah, that's the best drive this year, and it really felt like that was, we've all had this conversation in our rooms. That was Seahawk ball. I mean, that's how we would like it to look. That's what we would like it to look like. That's how we want to play ball. There was nice run, pass mix. Obviously, we were able to get it in the end zone. So that's what we feel like that our offense should look like.
With how you guys want to play, how frustrating is it that you see some of the success in the run game that you have, but you haven't been able to get to it as much as you want to?
Yeah, that was a game where we were running the ball well, and we were running it early. It wasn't like we were. I think the first run was like a 1-yard run, which is a positive run, in our mind. But then we had a 6-yard run, we had a 5-yard run. So it was disappointing that we didn't continue to go there and continue to do more of that. And that's on us to make the adjustments and do those things. But I think we could have done that. I think we were running the ball really well in that game, but we decided to do other things.
There's been a few years where maybe there's been a lot of different reasons, but the offense has at times seemed to maybe take a little while to kind of find itself, get everything kind of working that way. Do you see any similarities between like this year and any of the past years, or is it all just kind of different years and different circumstances?
Yeah, I think it's all different years. Like I said, now this has been 3 weeks, but coming out of the preseason and then coming to that first game at Green Bay, you couldn't have told me that we would have not been rolling as we went into the regular season. I know preseason and regular season is different, but we had put a nice drive together. We'd moved the ball. We'd been explosive. We kind of had all the things that we planned on getting out of the preseason. We felt like we got out of it, and we were doing a nice job in most of those areas. So it was frustrating in that first game that we ended up taking the game like we took it, and we have to kind of find ourselves and get back to that level of play because we feel like that's who we are and who we can be, but we need to get there. We started to move the ball in the second half, started to put some drives together and look good, and we're improving everywhere. I mean, offensive line was protecting better, communicating better. We're having some, you can see nice run lanes for the running backs as well. We can clean up a lot of things, but it feels like it's moving in the right direction.
Anything else?
Thank you. All right, thanks.